Hi, in front of me I have my first ever package from Pretties for Your Face. And side note, how cute is this Halloween packaging? So if you would like to see what I got and hear some of my first impressions, stay tuned. Okay, so here they are all laid out. I got 3 of the Mega Chromes and 3 of the Polymorphs, 1 blush, and the rest are all their duochrome, sparkly, beautiful shimmers of various kinds. Really quickly, before I go into the individual shades, I just want to give a quick overview. So I got all these during a sale. It was a 50% off sale. You can also stack coupons on their sale. The Mega Chromes, I believe, are $18, sometimes excluded from the sales. The Polymorphs, I believe, were $10, and the shimmers are $5. And then that is with the 50% off sale plus the discount codes. I'm not sure how much that is. The formula is definitely a drier formula. Think Shine by SD, not Odin's Eye. I can't stand the squishy wet formulas. I prefer a dry formula. So that is a huge win for me. They don't crease. I find they wear better and they wind up looking just more high impact and more shiny in my opinion. That being said, you do usually need to use some kind of tacky base for a drier shade. And some of the more flaky ones here, you absolutely need a base for. However, I found that when I put them over a base, they did smooth out quite nicely. Some chunky shades don't smooth out all that well, but these over a base smoothed out quite nicely. All right, so first Mega Chrome I have is Fairy Godmother. This has an orange base and shifts pink, peach, gold, and chartreuse. This seems to be a pretty well-rounded formula. It is very sparkly, but it can still be built up to be quite opaque over a tacky base. Next, I have Pumpkin Pixie. This has a grass green base and shifts pink, peach, orange, gold, chartreuse. When I first saw this, I thought it was a holochrome. And I don't really like holochromes. I don't like the feel of them. I'm not a massive fan of the look of most of them either. So I was going to pass it by. But then I realized it's not a holochrome. It's just packed with all these beautiful multicolored sparkles. You can see a little bit in my swatch here. Unfortunately, it's not showing up great on camera, but this is so dimensional and so sparkly and such a perfect autumn shade. And last of the Mega Chromes, and the one I'm the most excited to get, this is Water Nymph. It has a vibrant electric blue base and shifts pink, peach, orange, gold, and chartreuse. This shade definitely lived up to the hype in my mind. It's beautiful. It's so vibrant. It's so bright. It's so sparkly. It's so shiny. I absolutely love it. A warning though, this stained so bad. Next, I have a few polymorph pigments. This one is Cauldron, which is a deep iridescent with a sheer brown base and shifts from green, turquoise, blue, indigo, and purple. As you can see, this is super sparkly and it can be sheared out quite a bit or built up more over a tacky base. Again, here I just have it over a bare hand, so this is what you would get without it being over a tacky base, and it's still very high impact. I understand why this is such a popular shade. I love it, and I definitely think I'll be wearing this one pretty frequently. Next up is IEI, which has a silver base and shifts from pink, purple, and green. I absolutely adore this shadow. I love a spicy silver, and I'm always trying to create silvers like this by layering iridescence on top of my silvers. So I'm really happy to just have one shadow that can do that, and I don't have to worry about layering. And the last polymorph pigment that I picked up is from the new Halloween collection. This is Melancholy. This is a deep iridescent with a slight taupe base, and it shifts from a turquoise, blue, indigo, purple, violet, and pink. This is absolutely stunning. Again, this is just over my bare hand. It's even more incredible when it's layered over a tacky base. But look how wet looking and sparkly it is. Just absolutely beautiful. I know I'm going to get a lot of wear out of this one. My first of the $5 shimmers is Dreamy. This has a purple base with a pink and gold flip. It has a relatively opaque metallic finish with a little bit of sparkle throughout it. Not too thick, not too thin, just a really good standard metallic shadow. Next is Cosmos. It has a sheer purple base and sparkles that shift from turquoise, pink, and gold. This is an extremely flaky shadow and it absolutely needs a tacky base. Right now I just have it over my bare skin, but I think you can see how wet looking, how sparkly, and how beautiful it is. It does smooth out pretty good over a tacky base, but I couldn't get it to smooth out on my bare skin. That being said, the work to have it smooth out is absolutely worth it. This is so beautiful. This is probably my favorite shade. At least so far, it's my favorite shade. It is just ethereal, absolutely beautiful. I love this one. The next shade I have is Eclipse. This has a vibrant electric blue base and shifts from pink, peach, and gold. This is a very flaky, very sparkly shade. I believe it's from the same collection as the previous shade Cosmos. And if that is the case, I'm going to go out and buy that entire collection because these are so beautiful. This one did smooth out and wear a little bit better on my hand without any base, but when I put them both over a tacky base, they're both pretty similar in how they wear. That being said, this one does have much more of a base pigment, whereas the last one was very sheer in the base. I also wanted to add that this one stained pretty bad, but not as bad as Water Nymph. Next up is the shade Gina, which has a burgundy rosewood base and shifts from green, turquoise, blue, and pink. This definitely isn't the most high impact or sparkly shadow, but I really like these kind of shadows for every day. Next is the shade Calicor. This has a sheer cream base and shifts from a green to a turquoise, blue, and pink. This is very similar to Cosmos and Eclipse in that it is very, very sparkly, very flaky, definitely benefits from having a tacky base underneath it. I don't know if it's from the same collection or a similar collection, but that's something I'm definitely going to look into because this is such a beautiful formula. I really like this one. It's probably going to be one of my new everyday shades. It's very wearable, but very wet looking and very sparkly. Next is Light as a Feather. This has a sheer pink-brown base and shifts from green, turquoise, blue, and indigo. This shadow seemed to be on everybody's recommendations list, and I don't really get it. I mean, it's fine for a shadow that only costs at most $5. I think it's worth it, but the other shadows we've seen are so much more beautiful. And I really feel like if I were to take something like Divina Fairy Fire and layer that on top of a pink, I would get a very similar color, but something that is super sparkly, super shiny, super wet looking, super high impact. And this just isn't any of that. Next is Lilac Lust, and this has a lilac base and shifts from turquoise, blue, indigo, and purple. Now, this definitely isn't the most impactful shadow here. It's quite sheer, it's a little more satiny, but it does have a delicate sparkle going through it that I think is quite pretty. So I do think I will enjoy this for every day, kind of like a office-friendly, fairy, ethereal kind of vibe. In this economy, even fairies have to get a day job. This next shade is Moonchild. It has a deep wine base and shifts from green, blue, and purple. It has a really nice, well-balanced metallic formula. It's grungy and sultry, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. Next is Moonlight Magic, which has a purple base and shifts from a turquoise, blue, and purple. Just like the last one, this is a really nice metallic formula. It's well-rounded, there's good pigment, there's good texture, there's some sparkle. I love it. Next up is Moonlight Masquerade. This also has a purple base, but this one is a little bit warmer and a little bit deeper and shifts from a turquoise, blue, and purple. This is very similar to the previous shade. They really are sisters. The only difference is that the previous one I think is just a little bit higher impact. It has a little bit more shine, a little bit more texture, and the base is a little bit warmer on this one. Next is the shade Misty. It has a sky blue base and a peach to orange to gold to lime shift. It has the same well-rounded metallic formula as the previous shades, and I really like it. I'm surprised it's not one of the polymorph pigments because it is quite shifty and quite vibrant. Next is Pussycat. This has a gray base and shifts from orange to gold to lime to green. Just like all the last shades, this has a really nice metallic formula, and I'm really excited to play with this one. I love these kind of grungy shades, and I love the gray base with the warm shifts. Next up is Valentine Baby. This is a soft pink with silver and turquoise sparkles. It's an incredibly sparkly shadow. I mean, this is probably the most sparkly one that I've seen so far. It is so beautiful. This is just over my bare hand. It's even more beautiful over a tacky base. I absolutely love this one. Next is Violet Vision. This has a magenta base and an orange to gold to lime shift. The formula here isn't as high impact as the previous metallics, although it's not necessarily bad, and I think it's such a unique undertone that if I just layer some interesting iridescence on top, I'm going to wind up making something very beautiful. Personally, I'm thinking Gloaming from Cleona would be a great one to try laying over it. And last, this isn't exactly an eyeshadow, but it did come in the eyeshadow sized pan. I picked up one of their blush lighters so that I could get free shipping. This is the shade Fame. It has a rosy base and shifts from gold to turquoise. However, on me, it looks kind of more like a lime or a green than a gold, and that's not flattering at all. It winds up looking like a rash or a blister or just something really unhealthy on my skin. So, although I really like the formula, I don't like this color on me. All right, so that's it. Overall, I'm really excited with this first order. I'm really excited to try those super sparkly shades. Can't wait to play with these a little bit on my eyes. But let me know, do I have any of your favorites here, or do you have any other ones that you would recommend me trying in the future? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!